all around me. Oh, let me know that love is all around me. Oh, let me know that love is all around me. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Good evening and welcome to Soul Fulfilling. My name is Rickie Byars. I like that. I like my name. It took me a long time to learn to love that name. It took me a long time to learn to love a lot of things. And I'm loving it now. I'm loving God in a holy, holy way. Surrendering to God and watching God pull me through, baby. Pull me all the way through. What about you? What are you learning along the way? We're going to be talking about it tonight. I have a wonderful guest coming into the room tonight. Her name is Dr. Lori Eanes. I'm going to bring up on the screen in just a minute. Right now, I just want you to know that I'm wishing you a happy new year. Hey, happy, it's deep. We lived through it all, didn't we? We lived through it all. You're still on. You're still here. You're still breathing. We got time to enjoy our lives together. That's what soul fulfilling is about. It's about being fulfilled in the soul. What brings you joy? What makes you happy? What good are you bringing to the community because you're overflowing with it? Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Yeah, we want to do some other things in a holy, holy way too. We're going to be talking about that holy way tonight. So come on in. We got Patricia Kingery. What's up? She's here. Feliz Año Nuevo. Oh, she's speaking Spanish now. Come on, girl. She done moved down there. She's speaking Spanish. That's smart. Meg Tahar. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good life. Chef Lori, how you doing? Mary Monroe. Welcome on into the B-Hood. Kimberly Lovelace, you feeling better, baby? She had back surgery. Hey, Maxine, my sister. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let us love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Yeah. Hi, Joanne. So y'all keep on coming in, y'all. Come on into the room. Come on in the room. All right. Come on in my room. Come on in now. Spirit is my doctor. And it writes out all of my scriptures. Gives me all of my medicine in my room. Oh yes, there is peace in my room. Peace in my room. Hey, Spirit is my doctor. And it writes out all of my prescriptions. And it gives me all of my medicine in my room. Come on in now, y'all. Because y'all got to be in the room. That's when I bring Dr. Lori in here. It's on. Hey, Sheila. Waterton Glacier International Peace Park Association. I hope the whole crew is looking. All of my medicine in my room. Happy New Year, everybody. So I was talking earlier with our beloved Dr. Lori, who is coming into the room in just a second. Hi, goodbye. Yeah. Oh, in my room. Oh, come on in my room. Come on in my room. Oh, Jesus is my doctor. Buddha is my doctor. Mary is my doctor. My mama, she was like a doctor. All of the ancestors, all the doctors. The Holy Spirit is my doctor. Writes out all of my scriptures and gives me all of my medicine in my room. Hey. Happy New Us. I really enjoyed that breath because it's evidence that I'm alive. So if you're still breathing with me, hallelujah. The breath is so important. Oh, yes, it's everything. The breath of God is breathing us. And resting in the breath of God, we know that all is well. Yeah. Oh, Sally Mason, I haven't seen you in a long time. So y'all come on into the room. It's so beautiful. Yes. All right, Maria, I hear you. So tonight, everybody, I have a beautiful guest, beautiful friend, and brilliant doctor. Just a brilliant being. She ain't just a doctor. I mean, she's done a whole lot of things. She's been a dancer. She's a yoga teacher. She's a gardener. She's like, well, no, I'm not going to bring up those songs from the 50s because that would greatly offend somebody right now. But there was this song called, remember, she rolls on her belly like a reptile. She does everything. I know y'all remember it. I know some of y'all remember that song. But this is Dr. Lori Eanes, who's a former dancer and now practicing physician who shows you how to have better health using less medicine and also teaches the healing power of foods. So to kick off the new year by celebrating the path to greater health, wholeness, and happiness sounds like a good thing. With two dynamic humans. Well, actually, there are three. Actually, there's a whole group of us. Right now, we're at 26, but our number is going to be building very shortly of folks who want to come on into the room and learn how we can be better together, better in our bodies, in our skin, and better for the planet together. Many of us are making more conscious decisions about the way we live, and that is a wonderful thing. And tonight, we're going to learn from a different kind of doctor who dances. A lot of doctors, they play golf, but I think they need to do more than that. I think they need to do something else. She dances, man. She dances, and she teaches yoga. She grows her own food too. So soulful filling songs and conversations welcomes Dr. Lori Eanes into the room. Come on in, Dr. Lori.
Well, it is such a blessing to be here. My soul sister, my musical maestra, and my friend Rickie. Yes, I'm probably one of the only people that calls you maestra because you are orchestrating the music of our lives and making us better in doing so. So it is always a blessing.
Hey, that is a beautiful thing to hear about one's life. And we were having a conversation about life and death. And a lot of times folks don't want to talk about death. Wait a minute. They are talking over here in the stream. Before we get into it, it's like, Anna, listen to you all day in my headphones. That kind of day at work. All right, now I will let that music get you through. Hi, Baptiste Jean. Happy New Year. Amen. Start again. Happy New Year with a day. Greet him. Lovely to be with you in Africa. Amen. So yeah, Baptiste Jean is coming all the way from Africa, and Kathy Obaro. Hey, so y'all come on in, okay? But we were talking about life and death, and I asked a question that people don't ask much. We hear about the kind of way we leaving a will, or some kind of trust, so people know what to do with your money when you leave, uh, or how to divide your assets if you have any, or if you have any left. Uh, but they don't talk much about the way they want to die, the way they want to leave. And my mom and I, we talked about it. She was very clear. She said, I don't want to be in no hospital. I don't want to go to the hospital. She says, nah, we'll work it out. And we did. We worked it out on her terms, but the thought of death and dying and preparing for a tremendous victorious exit, to me, is as important as coming in, and I feel like what we do day to day has a lot, may determine that kind of smooth exit I want to have. But you can't really, I don't know if we can have anything to say about it. I think it's a destiny call, but we could intend, something high and holy. So we're talking about health, we're talking about wholeness, we're talking about happiness, we're talking about all of it tonight. And so starting off with the hottest topic of all, joy, the easy way to heaven. Was that it?
The easy way to heaven, I think, is what you said.
Yeah, the easy way to heaven. But you know what I wrote? You know what I wrote down?
The easy way to have it.
The easy way to die.
The easy way to die. Yeah.
Joy is the easy way to die.
Yeah. Yes, it will be. It truly will be. No kidding about that. It will be. Rickie, after, I've treated thousands, tens of thousands of patients in my over 20, almost 25-year career of medicine.
Wow.
And what I get a lot is so many people, they're worried about their longevity, their sustainability, whether or not they, is this disorder going to be life-threatening? Is it, and they're fearing things that oftentimes are not even happening. Mm-hmm. But the biggest concern that they have is this going to impact my survivability? Mm-hmm. And so I think part of the problem is we put so much fear and worry into mm-hmm. how we are going to leave this life that we rob ourselves of the joy in living life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's all in all of our medical environments. That it's not cancer. It's not going to inhibit my life in any way. The fear is always so present about mm-hmm. how we're leaving this life mm-hmm. instead of focusing on the joy and what we have today mm-hmm. in this moment, right mm-hmm. here and right now. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, envisioning what tomorrow can look like. And as you put it, the joy in dying. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because I think if we envision that, we can have it. Or get close as possible.
Well, you just trumped my question. So we don't even have to talk about the joy in dying. We can talk about the joy in living.
Exactly.
We can talk about the joy in living. It was just a fleeting thought while I was preparing for the show tonight. It sounded deep when I was in the restroom.
Oh my God. So, the last time we had this just kind of off the wall conversation was when you were in my kitchen the last time. And
Yeah.
so we'll just carry on as we normally would.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we'll talk about our joy. And speaking of which, one of my favorite songs, you're supposed to ask your guests what's one of your favorite songs.
Oh, oh no, I
Pour,
know you got the playlist tonight. So, and,
pour your
and,
joy in
and
me.
oh wow, okay. So we're gonna have more music tonight because I think people love the music.
Yes.
So I'll write down pour yourself in me.
Or pour yourself in me. That's
Okay,
right.
but I'm not ready to sing just yet because
All
I
right.
want to because you talked about about when we came into the world, when we were being born,
Yeah.
and how we don't remember. Most of us don't remember. I remember some, but I could be making it up. I could have seen it on a soap opera and thought that was my birth. When I was very impressionable as a little girl.
Yes.
But I feel like I was in. I remember them telling my mother to push. That I heard that, but that's all. I don't remember any pain or anything. I just remember being hungry. Something
Primitive
I
response, of
something
course.
something I still work with.
As you were in the Sprouts last night.
So we were in Sprouts last night. I tell you, there is no great. Well, I won't say there is no greater joy, but a very wonderful joy was to be talking to this doctor while I was in Sprouts, going up and down the aisles, going like, "Well, what about this?" And having her permission to
Yes.
get the bad foods, man, that I can't resist. So, but I'm changing my thought about can't resist.
Right.
I can. I don't have to resist. I can just have a little and feel good about that.
Right.
So this is the okay. I'm not gonna go there, but the bad little Ricky was gonna say this is the good way to die, a little bit at a time. You
Well,
know,
just four of those dark chocolate covered walnuts.
just four, four
Well,
is
at a setting,
four
just
is a lot. I'm
well,
telling.
four.
Four is a lot. And I mean, the ones in Sprouts are big, dark chocolate covered walnuts with no, dairy free.
Okay,
You talking about good,
yeah,
you know,
four
but
walnuts.
but I gotta say, what they did for my body was a rush. It made me feel like, oh yes, because you got the sugar, you got everything, and you get and the organic, but still that. And then later on in the day, seeing that I wasn't as present as I wanted to be in my body, I had a grapefruit, a fresh grapefruit that went like bam, like that. And probably my thoughts about ending and death have more to do with all the stuff I ate today that I normally don't, you know, uh, but that I did enjoy a lot.
Okay,
I did enjoy it, but my family can enjoy that. It's like they can have the choice of that, and they can have my grandson is really he's pretty cool, man. We went to this cafe called the Grain. It's a plant based cafe in Los Angeles, and we were there with Maxine on New Year's Day. It was open New Year's Day, and we went there. Myself, Georgia, and Naquade, who's 15, and we were sitting there, and Naquade said, and Georgia said he said, I think I want to try some tea. I want to try
okay.
something different today. You know, well,
Hmm.
she got a caramel latte. Maxine got a caramel latte. I got water with lemon in it. Most of the time, I would have gotten a caramel latte too, but I knew that I was gonna have some of that carrot cake soon, and so I didn't want to OD on the sugar completely.
Yeah.
So I just had water and lemon. That stuff smells so good. He loved the smell of it, but he wouldn't or he stuck with his tea. He was like, I said I wanted to try something new, and I am. He says I probably won't order it again, but I don't want to order something else and ruined my opportunity to actually try something different. And I mean, that's to me in my family, that's spiraling up.
Hmm.
I never had that kind of insight about food. I've been, give me yours then. Can I have that tea that you don't want? He was like, no, grandma, I'm still working on it. But it's like it was like I made a choice to try something different. Like, how often are we willing to try something different that might bring something really good to us? And that's your department. I mean, like, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Like, you see people all day, every day, and sit with people who are used to a certain regimen. And how do you get them to try to, how you send them to Sprouts and ask them to start with the walnuts?
Yeah. Well, that's a good start, actually. I mean,
Yeah,
because you will not feel deprived
you
with,
won't.
you will not feel deprived
No,
with
you won't.
some dark chocolate covered walnuts. You will not. But, change is challenging for
Yes,
most.
yes.
It is. So to step into something new means we have to give up something old. And that's probably really appropriate for the new year. To
Hmm.
step into something new, we have to give up something old.
Ooh.
And the thing that most people struggle with is not the fear or the unknown. It's really the being uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So when we have to do something different, that means it could. Now you could step into trying a new tea that you absolutely love that you hadn't thought about. But it means trying something new means giving up something that may have brought you comfort and trying something that you don't know
You don't
about
know.
and
Hmm.
are unfamiliar with. And that's where I think it is the most challenging for most people. So, my biggest thing that I talk about is getting us to give up the sugar. Now, I'm okay with 4 chocolate covered walnuts. That's perfectly fine.
Every
But
day.
well, it doesn't have to. See, now you're going there, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, every now and then.
Every now and then,
Yeah.
exactly. Every now and then. So fresh fruit is, of course, your best source of sugar would be fresh fruit.
I love
But
that.
to get rid of sugar when it is so highly addictive to not just the brain but to the body, there are cravings for it, and it's accessible and it's on every corner. And the more we get, the more we want because it triggers the dopamine in the brain. And now to say, what? I can't have my chocolate every day
Mhm.
becomes a source of discomfort.
Mm,
And
mhm.
we have to find new places of comfort. So it's a challenge, and I challenge my patients, my clients when I'm training people to do something different. Then
Mhm.
you have to at least give yourself that chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whenever we're moving away from one thing, we have to replace it with something else. So even if I say, no, you can't have the Snickers bar, which is a bad source of chocolate, but you can't have that. But what you can have is some apples and some dried cranberries,
Mhm.
or some apples and something else. So you want something sweet, now reach for something different.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
think in our lives, in order for us to grow, we must reach for something different.
Mhm. Mhm.
We
Mhm.
absolutely have to. So it does become a challenge. And the patterns are difficult to break. But when you have someone who's coaching you
Mhm.
and encouraging you
Mhm.
and letting you know what's possible,
Mhm.
then I think there's a greater tendency to move in that direction. When you
Mhm.
have to do it on your own, or perhaps maybe even have people in your environment who
Mhm.
are saying, but we're getting Dunkin' Donuts today or Krispy Kremes, it becomes difficult.
Yeah, very difficult. And there are other there are other alternatives now, and and
Plen-
and and I'm thankful. And as you were talking, I remember that more times than not, I'm doing the fruit thing, the fruits and the vegetables, and I have a really good, a different kind of regimen, so that when I veer off of it, it feels like I'm crashing.
Mhm.
Now Baptiste Jones wants to be the third person in the house. He's got a whole program lined up for us to ask questions. So he says, uh, asking how she got powered, get how she get power for teaching yoga and growing her own food.
Who who's
This
most inspired?
he wants. Well, I was going to
Okay.
ask. I was going to ask my own questions, bruh. Just give me a chance to get there.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
because you do grow your own food.
Yeah, so that happened really pandemic time. I mean, I have to continue to be learning and when
Hmm.
it comes to health and well-being. So that is I'm just a student of health and
Hmm.
well-being,
That's
not
right.
just a doctor.
Hmm.
And so
You,
I
what? You hear what she said?
yeah, what did
She
I say?
says she's a student, not just a doctor.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So when it came to the pandemic and we were all sequestered, I wanted to think about what could I do, what could I learn that would be sustainable.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I mean, I could have taken up some craft, I suppose, but I couldn't think of anything better than being grounded by the earth outdoors
Hmm.
and really the power. And because this is really all about God, the power of one seed, soil, sunlight, and water
Hmm.
to really sustain us. And
Hmm.
so I began growing things like squash. I have the fig tree. I planted a fig tree. I have apricot tree.
Hmm.
Have done many cantaloupe, blackberries, oh my gosh, I mean, you just name it.
Hmm.
Celery. I've been growing celery. I have collard greens out there right now. Oh,
Hmm.
wait, since you mentioned it, I did. I decided, and I have a grow garden in my garage with all grow lights. So I did. I started from seed. This is romaine lettuce.
Now I started from a little clip of
Right.
romaine lettuce, and it dain't. That's my new
Okay.
word. It didn't do too good.
It is. I know everyone is talking about the regrow. So like you have that little small piece of lettuce in the
Yeah,
refrigerator
yeah.
that you can now root
You sprout
with
it.
in water,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
right? And then regrow.
Yeah.
It is possible, but my experience is once you start doing that,
Hmm.
it will root and
Hmm.
it can grow, but it quickly goes to seed.
Hmm.
So it doesn't continue to grow
Hmm.
bountiful leaves of
Hmm.
lettuce that you can eat.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, and here again, I'm still learning. I don't know if that is because, and you let me know if I'm too loud too, because we talked about our
No, you
sound
sound
bites.
great. You sound
Okay.
great.
So I don't know if that is because, unless you're buying organic, oftentimes our vegetables are sprayed with a root inhibitor.
Mm.
So to regrow something that has already been sprayed with an inhibitor, you're not going to get much success.
Hmm. Well,
But if you
mine were
well, and I
mine was
know you're
organic.
organic, and I
Yeah.
know you're organic with it.
Hmm.
So, but that was started. This was started from a seed, one, and
Hmm.
that I started in my little cups, and then I let them develop a good root system, and then I replant them. And this will be the pot.
You know what, Doc?
Yes.
You got that green thumb. Now, and I declare, what's the word I want to go? I affirm that it's possible for my brown thumb to turn green too. Now I'm gonna tell you what Georgia said. Georgia was, but Georgia, my daughter, she's like, but mom, you're a gardener. She says, you're a gardener. She says, look at your plants. All your plants just thrive and they're so
Mhm.
happy. And this is my orchid right here.
Beautiful.
This is my orchid it was not doing well. It had bugs on it and everything. And I cleaned it up and put it outside away from the other plants that I have. And then it got cold when the weather changed, but I left it out there.
Mhm.
But I put all the orchids out. Everything was contaminated, but I cleaned everything up. Then I brought everything back in to the bee hood,
Beautiful.
and they've been pretty clean. One had some bugs yesterday, but I just cleaned it up and sprayed it with like if you look at Instagram, you have all these different ways that you can, like if you soak banana peels, if you
Uh-huh.
do this, if you do that. I've been doing those things and fertilizing the soil and doing different things with the plants, and look what happened. So
Green
now,
thumb in the making.
if
Yes.
I
That's
can,
beautiful.
yeah, but now if I can get them beets, well, actually, I have beets that are growing, and the beet greens I keep cutting, and they keep growing.
Mhm.
So little bit at a time. But it's been fun, just learning how to do things. Yeah.
Exactly. It's patience and it's just learning. It's
Yeah.
it's really it's patience. So
Yeah.
I have absolutely enjoyed that. And so part of the program that I'll be starting in the spring, I will be teaching people how to do an urban edible garden.
Oh, that sounds good.
Urban edible. So whether you have just pots on a balcony,
Mm-hmm.
because many of my things outdoors, I have in tall, they're very tall pots, 3 foot high,
Mm-hmm.
over
Mm-hmm.
3 foot tall pots.
Mm-hmm.
But because I didn't want to be bending over, digging in the dirt
Yeah.
and straining my back,
Yeah.
but you can grow things on your balcony
Yeah.
or on your
In your
porch.
apartment or in your or
On your apartment,
inside.
so that's why I
Yeah.
call it urban edible gardening.
Yeah.
And so that I think that's something that we can easily do. And if you love it, I mean, I couldn't think of anything better than being connected to nature.
Yes. Yes. And when we come back from this song, we're going to talk about the lily pillies, because
Okay.
because the deal is like it's all God is so good that even though because I did a raised flower bed, garden
Okay.
bed, a
Okay.
raised garden bed, so I didn't have to bend over. Somebody said, "You want a raised garden bed?" I didn't know what it meant, but I got a raised garden bed. It costs a lot of money to do the raised garden bed. I was like, "Mhm." And then I planted black eyed peas because Georgia loves them. But you
Okay.
need a lot of land to get a lot of black eyed peas.
Yes, you do.
You know, I got a little handful of black eyed peas, and it costs like $700 for the raised garden bed. I was like, man, I could have bought a bunch of black eyed peas. Okay, I'm done. But what I did was I learned also placement is very important for our plants. And my plants were placed right near the electrical meters and all that stuff. That's not good. So we want to look at everything. Dr. Lori asked for this song. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, whoa. Wonderful Spirit. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, whoa. Wonderful Spirit. Pour your joy in me. Pour your joy into my heart. Whoa, whoa. Wonderful Spirit. Pour your joy in me. Pour your joy into my heart. Whoa, whoa. Wonderful Spirit. Perhaps the thing that we're planting, or the way we will plant, the way we will be gardeners, will be by planting seeds of the things that we love to do. Where I might be a lousy gardener, I can write a song. I can write a song. I can pray to be more willing to be a better gardener. What is it that you're doing? What are you seeding in this new year? Shine your light in me. Shine your light into my heart. Whoa, whoa. Wonderful Spirit. Whoa, whoa. Wonderful Spirit. Whoa, whoa. Wonderful Spirit. Yeah. So Dr. Lori is, I don't want to use the word treating, but what is the word treating?
What are we referring to?
The people that your clients, patients, people who come to you for help.
Yeah, so I do it all. So
Hmm.
from treating to coaching to teaching
Hmm.
to motivating and inspiring.
What's your favorite?
So my favorite is teaching.
Hmm.
My
Hmm.
favorite is teaching.
Hmm.
I That brings me the greatest joy is to be able to teach the wisdom of our past along with the science of today.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that way you feel like you're getting a well-rounded understanding of what health can really look like. I've been speaking at medical conferences with physicians and showing them how to not just treat their patients but to teach them to be
Mm.
well.
Hmm. Mm.
Right? So that I think is really what's needed because I created a format of nourishing the body, quieting the mind, move with intention, seek out joy in
Hmm.
all that we do, and have
Hmm.
gratitude for all. And when we put all of those things in our lives in its perspective, then that's when we can have the most fulfilling life as well as
Hmm.
the most fulfilling health because your life is your health.
Yeah, give those points again.
So, so we must nourish the body.
Hmm.
Right? And so using foods as our medicine and
Hmm.
understanding that foods from the earth will help us to heal.
Hmm.
Foods from a box, a package, a paper bag, a drive through, the suggestion
A bin.
of, well, some of the bins are okay. Right, right. But so
That's
understanding
right.
that, foods from the earth will help us heal and
Hmm.
making those choices of those foods and understanding simple things like celery helps to
Hmm.
lower blood pressure and artichokes detoxify the liver along with dandelion leaves and, leeks strengthen and restore the kidneys. And so what,
Dandelion. Well, go back to the dandelion
oh,
leaves because a lot
yeah.
of times we overlook the dandelion leaves.
Oh, yeah.
Now, in
Uh,
my
uh,
right outside the where the the raised garden bed that that didn't make sense to me. What grows around it are
mhm.
all the dandelion leaves.
Potent detoxifier.
Yeah.
And so you can eat them raw in your salads. Now, I will say they are bitter. So you have to find a way to make it work and it doesn't
Smoothies.
require a lot.
Smoothies. They're good in smoothies.
Oh, okay. I've never done them in smoothies.
You never put your dandelion greens in
I have
smoothies?
not. I like them sautéed with
Hmm.
garlic
Hmm.
or raw in salads.
Okay. Hmm.
But yes, absolutely. You can use them in smoothies. And really, the truth of the matter is, when I talk about how we use our foods to heal the body, I encourage all of my patients, all of my clients. Here's what you have to perhaps challenge yourself to do. We need to be eating 4 to 5 servings of vegetables a day.
Hmm.
You might just start with 3 if you eat none. And of
Hmm.
course, we feel real good about ourselves when we eat a salad. Oh, I had a salad
Hmm.
today.
Hmm.
Now, a salad can be 2 cups. And so when we talk about a serving is a cup of raw, a half a cup of cooked.
Hmm.
And so it's not hard to get that in. And if you're doing a sizable smoothie, 2 cups of greens, whether that's spinach or your dandelions or your kale, and
Hmm.
maybe even adding a banana and some
Hmm.
pineapple to
Hmm.
that, there is your 2 cups right
Hmm.
there. So
Hmm.
now adding another whole cup somewhere along the way of some steamed vegetables in the evening and some raw vegetables throughout the day as a salad, that is food for medicine
Hmm. I'm
right
laughing.
there.
Taliba says I can sing to my plants. That'll help them.
I
I am.
do.
I am singing to them. Believe me. That's why the dandelion greens are still coming.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so
Uh-huh.
five. So okay. So nourishing the body, and
Nurse
then
somebody.
going with your points because you
Right.
had.
So quiet the mind.
Mhm.
We must learn how to silence the mind. And that is through either just sitting still,
Mhm.
meditating,
Mhm.
prayer work, And it could actually just be sitting still and listening to music, but not allowing
Mm,
our minds to be constantly active.
mm,
Because when we do that, we take our minds into a space of alpha as
mhm,
well as theta brain waves. And those are the brain waves where we get our greatest creativity
mm,
and our greatest peace
mm,
and our greatest restoration.
mhm,
So, and we must learn to quiet the mind. And I say, there is peace in the silence. And
mhm,
so we must find that peace and we must make that a regular part of our being, of our
mhm,
lives.
mhm,
We are overstimulated, we're overwhelmed, worked, we're overwhelmed, we're overfed, we're overconsumed, we have too much going on, and then we wonder why we just feel out of balance all the time. So we
mhm,
really must make the practice of silence a practice.
mhm, mhm. It's a beautiful thing to do.
Yes.
Do you work through the night sometimes?
I try not to work through
Mhm.
the night,
But you know what
and
I mean? That time of night when everything's quiet and
I love the quiet. I love
mhm,
the silence of the night.
mhm,
I really do. Now, I when you do that though, you miss
mhm.
the
Yeah,
silence of the morning,
yeah, yes,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So I think the morning really probably gives us our greatest recharging, but there
Mhm,
are some of us, and I keep using this as my reasoning.
mhm,
I worked in ER for so many years in my
mhm,
early days of medicine, and I
mhm,
worked around the clock through the night.
mhm,
So I used to say, while you're sleeping, I'm up thinking. And so I got accustomed to being up at night while everyone else was asleep.
mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
when I was, I was, I was going good. Like for me to go to bed at around 10:30, 11 o'clock is a big deal. And I was on a good roll. And then I found myself with the newsletter. Well, I found myself with different things happening in my house and was cold in different parts of it. And things were, I needed to make some changes with my gas leaks. And it was a lot happening here during the holidays. But one by one, issue by issue, things are getting resolved. They're getting resolved, and
mhm,
that's a beautiful thing.
mhm.
Though everybody on the thread who has a house, y'all know what I'm talking about. There's always something going on with a house, So, and Dr. Lurie has a good handyman. His worth its weight in gold, you
It's
know.
true.
So I wasn't. I got thrown off of my pattern, which took me a moment to anchor, so and it's almost like a junkie when you go back to that old being up all night, because that's when your brain is firing,
Yep.
you know especially you go to sleep on the couch for a little while, you wake up at midnight, bam, you're on it, boom, 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 you're taking care of business, you're doing all this, you know and and then the morning comes, but you're greeting the morning, but it doesn't come from you sleeping, because resting is so very important. So tonight, come on, everybody. Those of you who have that disease or that habit, let's use that word. That's a better word. The habit of overworking or just crashing and then waking up and just going to bed sloppy. Let's go to bed with some class tonight. Let's go with some class, baby. you
Yeah.
know and my meditation time now is not before I go to bed. If I go to bed at 11:30, I'm waking up at 4:30, 5 o'clock to meditate.
Mhm.
And it is, I've done it. I did it. I've been doing it. I've been doing it every day.
Yeah.
So I have been very much returned to the stillness in a holy, holy way. It is amazing, you know, to be breathing in a room, breathing in oxygen. And sometimes folks are sitting there, but there's no oxygen in the room. I don't know how folks do it, but I have to open up a little window, get some fresh air in. That's part of my meditation. To just to be in a room with no fresh air is it does. I have to engage with oxygen. It's like, because I'm breathing. I'm breathing, and I think that people don't always consider. Maybe they don't need to know. Maybe they don't need to know, but sometimes we're breathing in a lot of stuff in the air around us, and it's nice to breathe in some fresh air. And I set a timer for 30 minutes, and I'm doing it, man. And even in a cross leg, that is not my thing. It's not my thing, but it's my thing. I'm wrapping up in a blanket. I'm in a jet. I'm under the room is dark. There's no light. There's no music. There's nothing. There's just me and God there, man. And it's just like, whew, it's there.
Yeah. There's peace in the stillness. Truly.
Yeah, it's it's necessary, and I hear people talking about meditation all the time. I see people guiding meditation that I'm going like, you can never meditate with me. I can't. I can't. Yeah,
Yeah.
But you get there the way you need to get there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that is, I mean, it's a critical piece. It's something we have to learn. It can work differently for each person. I love that idea of making sure there's fresh air in the room. I think it's easier to do in the warmer weather. I always open my sliding glass door first thing in the morning. A little more reluctant to do that
In the winter.
when the temperature is 30.
Mhm.
But that really is absolutely necessary to breathe in something from nature and something from God. And so that's really important to do that. And then creating or making a part of our regular routine, moving with intention. So I get a lot of people and I get a lot of patients and clients to say, oh, my job is really, I'm active on my job. I have to walk from here and I have to walk from there. And I said, that is just because you have legs and God meant for you to walk, but you now need to do something with intention. And so that's a different level of exercise and a different level of activity. And it doesn't always have to be an exercise, but you do need to push and move yourself at another pace other than simply walking on your job. You need to do something different. I am trained in, you mentioned yoga, but really it's Dan yoga and it's Qigong and it's body and brain, formerly Dan yoga with Ilchi Lee and Sedona. And so there's a tapping method that I use that whole body, not just the EFT, which I'm trained as a practitioner in emotional freedom technique.
You see
as
this
well.
girl, she does everything.
Yeah. So I'm trained in that as well. But I love the whole body movement because then you can really focus in on your body and understand where there are energy blockages. And so sometimes, yes, you can go to a gym and get your cardio on and get your workout in, and that's great. And we need that, or either do some lifting and strengthening the muscles, because you really do need three types of exercise. You need flexibility, which would be a traditional yoga, and I do hatha, hot yoga, but you also need to be doing some kind of strengthening, and whether that is the old calisthenics. I had a patient just bring to me just the other day. He said, well, you remember Jack LaLanne? He just had a chair. And he did calisthenic type exercises where he was using his own body weight. But you can use weights. So that's flexibility, resistance, as well as some sort of cardio. But understanding how energy is moving through the body is how we get to learn things like Qigong, even yoga, and Tai Chi. So those are like movements with intention.
I
Right?
think, yeah, and if you've never taken Tai Chi or been in any of the things that she spoke about that are all about fluidity and moving in a wholly fluid way, you can make it up. Like you can be in the park and just allow your body to move.
Yes.
You find or be in your room and put on B radio or put on something, some pensive music, and just go into your creative space and allow your body to do what it do. You
Yes.
just allow it to do what it does.
Right.
It
Unlock it. Unleash it.
creativity is an amazing thing. I'm going to talk a moment about Ricky Rouse. There's an interview about that Ricky Rouse has, and I should have put that in my newsletter. It might not be too late, but Ricky Rouse is has the condition of it was a short-term memory, like dementia, a short-term dementia, but he can still play. He can still play. So they're interviewing him because he was Shaka Khan's music director for 8 years. He's played with George Clinton for years and years. His first gig was with Stevie Wonder when he was a little boy. Not when Stevie was a little boy, when Ricky was a little boy. Stevie was young too. He was like 12, 14, 13. But Ricky is bad. And he's one of my favorite guitar players also. He plays with me in the Beatles.
Yeah.
So uh, so so they asked him this question about well, when did you start learning how to play? How did you study? And he's like, I never did. He said, I always could play, and I knew exactly what he was talking about. You know, he said, it's what I came here to do. It's like it's what I came here to do, and uh, he said so. They got me a guitar because I wanted to play a guitar, and I could play it. And and that just and the music. And then he said, now that jazz, he said, Wes Montgomery spoke to him on the style of the jazz guitarist Wes Montgomery appealed to him, but most other jazz, he said, that's not what I did. He said, I came for funk. I like Sly, Jimmy. He liked Sly Stone, Jimi Hendrix, and the blues. He liked the blues and BB King. So he was very clear on what he liked, but the way he approached it was just like, and that's the way Ricky. That's why me and Ricky we go like bam, because when he was like, Ricky, I love your music, I love you, my favorite songwriter, and I didn't quite know who was telling me this, right? But when he played my music, and when he first played "Let My Soul Surrender," it was just so awesome. What happened? Because he understood exactly what the song was. We didn't practice, Doc. There was no practice. So when he played that song with me at Agape, you can hear it on YouTube. Ricky Rouse playing "Let My Soul Surrender," with Rickie Byars, Beckwith would have been the name. We had never played it before. We never practiced. We don't practice. We just do it. So when I'm in the park, in the sunshine, in the sunlight, in the oxygen, in the wet grass, when I can do that, when it's not so cold that, I can't ground like that. And I just start moving my body. There's a Tai Chi group over there. I start doing I call it Ricky Chi. And yoga and all the things. It served me well. It served me well. That if you don't know, just do your own thing. It's BTN.
Yeah.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, BTN, better than nothing. It would take you to have your own acronym for sure.
Oh
For
yeah, folks
sure.
on this move, no folks on this thread. Many of them know about the
They
BTN.
know BTN. Okay. Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. And so, and the movement can be our source of joy. They say motion is the lotion for the
Hey,
body,
motion is the
right?
lotion. Y'all better write that down.
Yeah, motion is your body's lotion. So, you want to move and you want to move in a way that feels good. As a dancer, I never stop moving
Yeah,
because it feels good.
yeah, yeah.
Right, and it brings me joy. And so as does, that is something that we must seek out.
Mm-hmm,
The
mm-hmm,
routine of life can be just that. It can be
mm-hmm,
routine. And so
mm-hmm,
you have to seek out joy. You
mm-hmm,
have to find the moments, day to day, moment to moment, that bring you laughter, that bring you fulfillment, that
mm-hmm,
bring you lightness. And
mm-hmm,
certainly, speaking of music, music does just that.
mm-hmm.
Music does just that. And I had to wonder, I said, now, why through all of the mayhem that has been going on in 2020, 21, 22, have I been able to maintain my joy?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know it's called bradio.org.
Yes.
And but then, the student in me, the curiosity in me, I said, what is in her music that is bringing me this level of contentment, this level of peace, and this level of joy? And then I started researching it, and you don't recall this, but we talked about this, and I said, tell me, what key is in the key of F? What songs have you done? And I started researching the hertz in your music and
Mm-hmm.
understanding how some of your music, the way it is written, in addition to the sound and the frequency, in addition to the chants
Mm-hmm.
that we continue to say and sing over and over again in the music, how it changes us,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it elevates us.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's the reason why I listen all the time, and I send it out to everyone to,
Thank you.
hey,
Mm-hmm.
enlighten your day with just
Mm-hmm.
this music.
Mm-hmm.
But, I also, a funny little thing that I have others do is a laughter journal. We talk about a gratitude journal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we can always find something in our lives to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't realize there's so many funny things that happen on a given day that we let go by. We get a chuckle out of it. We let go by. I
Mm-hmm.
encourage you to write those things down.
Mm-hmm.
Of
Mm-hmm.
course, our children are some of the funniest that you
Mm-hmm.
will hear things come out of their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But when you write those down and you go back and you reflect on it, it will bring you joy in
Mm-hmm.
those times where maybe you're having a little bit of a struggle in
Mm-hmm.
your day. So, a
Mm-hmm.
laughter journal is one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I encourage. And of course, finding ways to be grateful,
Mm-hmm.
and if it's just in the people around us, in our friendships, in the creature comforts that we get to have in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And when we can focus on that, because all the studies point to that gratitude is our foundation for our resilience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we can be grateful for even just the smallest things and see the not just the loss in our lives, but
Mm-hmm.
see the gifts in our lives.
Man, absolutely. It's sometimes like I picked up this journal and I'm going to read a little bit. This might be a little off the beaten path, but it spoke so deeply to me when I read it, and I was like, "Wow, that's pretty rich." Thank you for what you just said. I Before I read this, you made me remember a dear man who's passed on. His name was Dr. Robert Mueller. Not the Mueller in the news and the government now, but Dr. Robert Mueller was from Alsace, Lorraine, and he was part of the group that be, he was assistant to the Secretary General um, of the UN, and he was also very disappointed in the UN and the way it turned out. But he was a brilliant man, and I got to spend some good time with he and his wife Barbara, his second wife Barbara. His first wife passed on, and he lived in Costa Rica at the University of Peace. There's a place called the University of Peace, and he was the chancellor there. And we went to the University of Peace, spent some time with Dr. Robert Mueller. And those of you on the thread, you may remember him. He was the guy that came, he was a brilliant genius that would come and play his harmonica, and he'd play the Ode to Joy at Agape, and he would like, he would play the Ode to Joy and just light the place up, and would say such brilliant things to us uh, to ground us. Well, this man would keep an idea journal. Like, he had lots of ideas, you know. He was, because I got lots of ideas too. And we would talk about, I said, well, I got this idea. He said, write it down. Write it down. He had like over 6,000 ideas. He had like 3 volumes of ideas in the journals. Hey, Georgia. Georgia just came back from the yarn store. She's happy. So he had it's, oh my God. She loves to knit. So gratitude journal joy journal,
Mhm.
idea
Mhm.
journal. And because the deal about the ideas is that if you write them down, somebody else picks them up. It's like Michael Jackson shared. Well, Michael Jackson had a moment with a very dear friend of mine, and he was like, he came up with this music, and he's like, let's copyright that right away because we don't want Prince to get it. Like ideas go around. Ideas are in the, they're here. That they're landing in us. You know, so when I say pour yourself in me, it's like, God, I know you are everywhere. I know you are everywhere. So just pour it in me. It's like, and maybe God is right in here, Jean Baptiste. Maybe God is just right in here. Because it's like it's in my mind, it's in my heart, it's in my imagination, it's in my everything. So if everything about me wants to be available for that glory to shine, then let it.
Yes.
Then let it heal us. Let it heal us. Let the Spirit heal us and get over it. Just get over it. If it, learn, heal those wounds, man, because they're wasting your time. You going to be on the die on learn thinking about the ways to die and not the ways to live. Like I started with the show, but we want to talk about the ways that we can live, the ways we can give, the ways that we can serve. So I picked up this book and I made some notes, and so this is just some journaling, but it says, but in retro, and I'm talking about um, be the right kind of person and stand for things that build rather than destroy the earth, and our or God's community build rather than destroy the earth in our community. So far, so good. But in retrospect, I find I can forgive myself for the ways I sinned and made costly mistakes. Not because no mistakes have been made in God, but because I am forgiven. That my sin was not with that person or that matter. My sin was with God because I forgot that God loves me and God loves me. My sin was not with that person, or that it was my relationship with God. You know, Somebody told me something. I went to see a very dear friend of mine yesterday, and she was telling me that this person was talking bad about me. I was like, why are you talking about that? When you're healing. And she said, but that didn't like what she was saying. I said, but my relationship is not with her. My relationship is with God, and that when we get that, we could waste a lot of our life dealing and energy dealing with what somebody did to me, what they took from me, what. And it's like, then the mighty Spirit, the mighty God that's here for us, man, that's going to deliver some good vitamins to us. That's going to bring the kind of lotion, you know, in our motion, that's going to have us looking like Dr. Lori, who didn't even talk about the rebounder she got. See, she ain't telling you everything she do. Holding back. You holding back on us. I mean, God is good, so, you know, God is good, and so thank you. And you had two more points though.
No, I did them all. I
You
did them
did all the
all.
points.
Yeah,
You did
I
all
did.
of them.
The nourish the body, the quiet the mind, the seek out joy, the move with intention, and the have gratitude for all.
Oh, that's it.
So
She had
mhm,
five.
we did them all.
We did
We,
them all. And thank
yeah.
you, for coming on. I just want to tell Cherie, will you please email me your address so that I can send you your T-shirt, your Regasa T-shirt? Hi, Reverend Harriet. Some people hide the idea under a bushel, and someone else brings it to light. Come on now.
Mhm.
We have been around the park here today. I have enjoyed my conversation. Oh, she's showing the Regasa T-shirts. Poo-wee. I'm telling you, I'm shipping them out, baby, while
I have
supplies.
mine.
Yes, you do. Did you have you strutted it yet?
Not yet, but I'm on my way to the Caribbean, and that will be a great place for me to wear my t-shirts. And of course, I give them to my good friends there in Bermuda, and they have found them to be their
Oh
favorites.
yes, yes, yes. Thank you
Their
very much.
favorites.
I can't wait to go to the Caribbean with you.
Yes.
You know, before we end tonight's program, just wanted you to know that the spring retreat, the spring revival
Mm.
at Lake Junaluska, North Carolina, is on, baby. You know, and so you will be able to sign up as soon as my newsletter publishes. You'll click that button. So, okay, Dr. Lori, is there now? Dr. Lori has events that are coming up in the summertime, and so you're
Mhm.
going to come back and talk to us about how
Yes.
we can join you, and maybe sometime you and I can do a nice, beautiful retreat in Bermuda.
Yeah, I think so. In fact, I know so. We've been envisioning this for a minute, so
Yeah, yeah,
it's destined to happen.
yeah. I'm ready to go now.
Yeah,
Before I wasn't ready.
I know.
You know, now
Yeah,
yeah. You
yeah.
know, I went through a lot with my mom passing and just a lot of changes in my life. I just didn't. I felt more secure at home.
Mhm.
You know, now,
Yeah, and we
yeah,
we all were in that position. And what
yeah,
people forgot was that, yes, did we all just get through something
yeah,
that we had never experienced before in the history of our lifetime?
yeah,
And in addition to that, there were other things in our lives that were going on,
yeah,
family,
yeah,
aging parents,
yeah,
all these other things,
yeah,
our workplace. So, yeah, I think most of us are ready to come out and do something a little bit more.
yeah, and yes, I'm ready. And
Mhm.
so doing the spring revival with Rob McDonald, Quinn Fontaine, John Stringer, Georgia's coming. You know, my family's coming from North Carolina. People coming from DC. It's going to be fantastic in on the East Coast. That's big for me. I'll be in Salt Lake City in the fall in a music retreat there with Cindy Edelson and all the beautiful people there, and then I'll be in concert and doing a lot of things, you know, just right here
Mhm.
in the states. So I'm coming everywhere. If you're in this thread, I'm coming to you. You
And you
know.
know what song just came to my mind? I Get a Healing.
Oh, this one. I get a healing early in the morning, a healing all deep inside me, a healing right with the sun. Oh, I get a healing early in the morning, a healing all deep inside me, a healing rides with the sun. Oh, I get a feeling that a love that's so very wonderful is moving behind and before me, and I heal and rise with the sun. My mama used to love this. I get a feeling that a love that's so very wonderful is moving behind and before me, and I heal and rise with the sun. And I lay down my burden that were heavy on my heart. Love is stronger than the reasons that would keep us far apart. Love as light as a feather wakes me up to meet the sun. My heart is better when I know that we are one. And I get a healing early in the morning, a healing all deep inside me, a healing right with the sun. Oh, I get a feeling that love is so very wonderful. It's moving behind and before me, and I need and rise with the sun. Ashe.
Ashe.
Thank you, Dr. Lori.
Thank you, my sister.
And thank you, Sule. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say,